Okay, this is for day 6, page 250. Should look like this. And we got ourselves some work to do. Now, let's look at this problem. Number 5 says, Bria and Lisa, B and S, let's just label it already, want to find the area of this figure over here. Beautiful figure. They agree to separate the figure as shown, but they disagree about what to do next. Lisa wants to add the areas of all 4 shapes in the figure. Bree wants to find the sum of the areas of 1 parallelogram and 1 triangle and then multiply that sum by 2. Who is correct? Now let's start off with what Lisa says first. So let's see. Lisa says she wants to add the areas of all 4 shapes. So let's do hers before we even get to the other person's. So she wants to add up the area of all 4 shapes. So I'm guessing it would be like this triangle up here, 1, 2, and then get the area for this shape, 3 and 4. She wants to add up the areas of all 4 shapes. So she wants to add up this area, plus this area, plus this area, plus this area. She wants to add up all the 4 areas. I mean, that makes sense. The last video we did, we basically did that. But for this one, I mean, Lisa's correct. Yes, we do have to break these apart and add up the areas. That's the correct way of doing it. Who is correct? Okay, Lisa's correct, but we'll explain right now with our work. But let's see what Bree said. So Bree wants to find the sum of the areas of 1 parallelogram and 1 triangle and then multiply that sum by 2. Now, I get the part of multiplying it by 2 because she's like, well, there's 2 parallelograms, right? There's one up here and there's one down here. And then there's 2 triangles. There's one right here and there's one up here. And like she wants to find the area of like one of these and one of this, add them all up. So she wants to add up this area plus this area. And then whenever she adds that up, she wants to multiply that by 2. Now I get it, there's 2 of them. That's what she wants to multiply by 2, but they don't have the same size. I mean dimensions. What I mean, this triangle right here has 2 height. And this triangle right here has 1, 2, 3 height. Has 3 height. I mean, they're not even the same size. I get why she's multiplying by 2, but that only works when you have the same height and the same base. The bases are the same, but the heights are not. Now let's look at this one. The height 1, 2. The height is 2 for this parallelogram in the bottom, but what about over here? 1, 2, 3. The height is 3. Again, it's different. So it wouldn't be correct because they're not the same size. So we can say that like Bree is incorrect, Bree is wrong, because they don't have the same size. Like they don't have the same size. Or we could say the same dimensions. We can say that Bree is right. I mean, we can say that Lisa's right. I'll give one example because she adds up all the areas. She finds the area for, she finds the area for each figure. So she finds the area for each triangle and each parallelogram, and then she adds them up. So she adds up all the areas. But first, she does find the areas for each one. Find the areas for each figure. Let me just make sure. All right, good. Now let's go to number 6. Number 6 says, draw each parallelogram and each triangle that you need to find the area in problem 5. Then label the dimensions of each figure. Okay, so now I actually have to draw them out or figure them out. I mean, they're separated, right? So let's do the triangles first. The triangles are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 for the base. just for space, I'm gonna put them over here. So this triangle right here is 1, 2, 3 for the height. So that's terrible. So this is the height. So this height would be 3, and the base would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The base would be 6 centimeters. I'm not gonna put centimeters in there. Oh, I'll just do it like that. Now for this triangle, this one in the bottom, it's 1, 2. It's just 2 for the height. I know that they look the same, but this one would just be 2 for the height, and then this base right here would be 6 centimeters because they share the same base. Now, what about for this parallelogram? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we would have 4 for the base, and then our height would be 1, 2, 3. Our height would be 3. So our height would be invisible like this, and we would say 3 centimeters. And the base would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be 4 centimeters. Now for this one, I think it goes like this. Okay, and then this, I know it looks bigger, and it's going to be a smaller number, but whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the base, so it's 4 for the base, and the height would be 1, 2. I know this is ridiculous, but this height would be 2 centimeters. I know it's not up to scale. So draw each parallelogram and each triangle. Okay, then you define the area in problem 5. Then label the dimensions on each figure. All right, I labeled them. Boom. 7. What is the area of the figure? Of the whole figure? All right, so we need to add up the 4 areas. So we got to add up the 4 areas. Now for this area, it's 1/2 times base times height. So it's 1/2 times 6 times height. Half of 6 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So the area for this one is 9. For this one, 1/2 times the base, which is 6, times the height. Okay, half of 6 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. So this triangle is 6 for the area. I forgot to put this one for this one. Now for this one, it's just base times height. 4 times 2 is 8. Over here, base times height. 4 times 3 is 12. So we need to add up all these 4 areas. The 12 centimeters squared, the 8 centimeters squared, the 9 centimeters squared, and the 6 centimeters squared. 29, 35. So our answer would be 35 centimeters squared for a total area. Boom, boom. Next one. Another one? All right, number 8. Show a different way to separate the figure into shapes. You may draw more than one line. Explain how to find the area of the figure using those shapes. All right, whenever it says explain how to find the area, you doing the work this way is explaining the way. So explaining the your way of doing it. So you don't need to like write a paragraph or whatever. No coronavirus, don't worry about it. Now, how can we separate this in another way? We can do it like this, where we have 2 triangles, like going this way, like this. And then I guess we can like do this and then make it into a triangle. No, that's terrible. Let's not do that. What if we, we can do it like this. No, but then this would like, what happened to this? Oh, I guess it says different shapes. So I guess we can do it like this, but that's just too much work. We don't want to do too much work. So, I mean, I like this part where we can separate it like this. So now the base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the height is 1, 2, 3, and the height is 1, 2, 3. So like for this triangle, the base is 5, the height is 3. Same for each side, actually. Same for each side. And then when I multiply that, I get 15. then multiply that by 1/2, so that's 7.5. So each triangle would be 7.5. And then what I have left over is this figure over here. I want to make it into a rectangle, but I can't. So I mean, I still could separate it like this because a parallelogram. We had said that the top was 12 and the bottom one was 8. So we can add the 7.5, 7.5. So it's 15 for the area on top. Yeah, 9 plus 6 equals 15. Yeah, so when I add these two up, 7.5 plus 7.5, I get 15 still. And I add these two up, 20 plus 15 still gives me 35. So this way I would have to add up these areas up like this. I just made the triangles different. I didn't separate the parallelograms that much. But that's fine. It said show a different way to separate the figure into shapes. You may draw more than one line. We drew 2 lines. Explain how to find. Yeah, this is fine. I mean, if you want to make it more complicated on yourselves, you could technically make this into a triangle. Now the 12 needs to be split 2 ways, so the triangles would each measure 6 as the area. And then you want to do it to the 8. Now these two, they had to split the 4 to get the 8 to get. They have to split the 8, so each area would be 4. So you can also do it like this, and you would have to add it up your areas like this, and you would still get the same answer. Let's just check. So 4 plus 4 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7.5 plus 7.5. Give me 35. Yep. Yeah. Well, that's it for page 250 on day 6.